What's up guys, in this video I want to go over a updated level 53 Tediore Amara build. If you're trying to do true takedown mode on Mayhem 4 and you're struggling to get through it, this is the build for you. This allows true takedown mode to easily be completed without much effort at all. The amount of damage you can do is insane, and the survivability of this build is also insane. Now before we get into the video, I just want to say really quick, thank you guys so much for all the recent support on the channel. As of recording this, I'm at 924 subs. I am right there at 1,000, and I truly cannot thank you guys enough. But with that being said, this build will be located in my Discord channel if you would like to download it. It's located under the builds tab, and you'll find some other builds in there as well. So if you download the build, enjoy the video, or find it helpful in any way, remember, be sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel out and help me reach the goal of 1,000. I would really appreciate it. So starting off, we're obviously going to be using Tediore shotguns. Now, as of right now, the update came out, I only have a level 53 in corrosive and shock, but that is the only two you really need. So the shotgun is for everything in the game. It can kill bosses, it does very good for mobbing, and that is simply because of Amara's ability to keep reprying her action skill. As you see, we have an anoint where we get 125% more splash damage after the action skill proc. So that plus all the ASE anoints on the grenade and shields is what's going to allow this to do an insane amount of damage, and why having a shotgun is fine. Obviously having an element to match the enemy would be better, but the shotgun already does well enough. Now I have a corrosive one right here specifically for the takedown. It is super good against Wotan and the Valkyrie squad. Now both of these shotguns are doing an insane amount of damage simply because of their parts on them. When you reload the gun, it's going to have an effect like all Tediore guns, but this effect is going to explode, and then it's going to explode into 5 MIRV that's going to like track enemies, and they're also going to explode. So you're doing an insane amount of damage with these things. Plus the more ammo you have in them, the more damage that it's going to do. So we'll be talking about that in a second. And really quick, I will say all of the gameplay that you're seeing in the background is on true takedown mode. So this is just giving you an example of how easy it can be. After the Tediore shotguns, I have a iron cannon right here, just because I'm already doing a ton of splash damage. I just have level 53 right here, just in case I need to get up from fight for your life. That's really the only reason. I have a face puncher right here, and as I was talking about the ammo, this is what it's going to allow us to basically have infinite ammo with our Tediore shotguns. This paired with the artifact we are using is going to let you shoot an enemy and fill your ammo count back up to max. And it's doing that because of the way the gun works. The gun basically is shooting melee damage out, and once we get to the artifact, you'll understand how that synergizes together. Next, I have the transformer right here, where I get 50% bonus cryo damage for 10 seconds on my action skill in. And the transformer is also very good paired with the shock Tediore shotgun because you don't take damage. Now, a thing I will say really quick is if you have the ASE anoints procced on you, you will take damage from those. So you have to be careful with that. But unless it's literally right on top of you, you won't take much damage. Plus, the transformer is healing you because of the shock explosion as well. As I said before, the ASE anoints are really easy to proc on Amara. So on our grenade, also just have 50% bonus corrosive damage. The grenade doesn't matter at all, really. I'm specifically using corrosive for the takedown. Cryo and corrosion are really good against armor. So pairing that on top of already doing the same amount of damage with the gun, you can melt things in the game. Now, as you see, I have other shields and grenades. I have each of the 4 elements for the grenade and each of the 4 elements for the shields. I would actually say mainly use the transformer with this build, just the survivability, but if you want to use a different element for certain bosses, that's perfectly fine. Next, I have a spiritual driver right here, which gives me 25% more weapon damage, 24% more magazine size, and 31% action skill cooldown rate. The cooldown rate is doing nothing, but the other two are buffing the Tediore shotguns. Having more ammo means more damage, and having more damage means more damage. But the way the spiritual driver works is basically you pop your action skill, you apply the status effect to yourself on whatever your action skill element is, and the more you move, the more gun damage you do. So this is going to pair super well when we get into our skill tree, and we'll talk about that. Now finally get to the artifact, we have a cut purse deathless, where we get 30% more grenade damage, 33% area effect damage, and 40% magazine size. Obviously the magazine size and area of effect damage is insanely good for the Tediore shotguns. The deathless is giving us 100% more shield capacity, which is buffing our transformer, 25% more shield recharge rate, and minus 20% shield recharge delay. Now the other part where you get ammo refill, when you melee enemy you get 8% ammo refill and 8% ammo refill turn to allies. So like I said before, the face puncher shoots melee damage, and it's a times 14 face puncher. So every time we shoot 14 pellets that hit an enemy, all the 14 of those pellets are applying this 8% ammo back. So basically 1 to 2 shots from your face puncher fills your ammo back up to max immediately, and it's crazy. So you have infinite Tediore shotguns. Getting to the skill tree real quick, I'm just gonna scroll through it because I know some people like to just look at the skill tree and figure things out for themselves. So this is for you. But now getting in depth with the skills, I'm going to be starting on Brawl because because this is where our main survivability and damage is going to be coming from. First, we're putting 3 points in personal space to get 36% bonus damage, and we're up close to an enemy. This is really good because you can just sling the shotguns really close to you, and you're just getting more damage. Now I have 1 point root to Raz and 1 point clarity. These don't matter at all because of our deathless artifact, but I'm usually these get to the bottom. Next, I have 5 points of arms deal to give me 20% more splash damage and 40% splash damage reduction. This is really good on the Tediore weapons because you're obviously doing splash damage, so you're going to get more damage, plus you're not going to die as much from them. Next, I have 5 points in help enhance, which is getting buffed to 7 with our class mod, and this is giving us 48% damage reduction every time we use our action skill. Now this actually does proc when phase grasping the ground to not lock anybody, so you always have 48% damage reduction, which is nuts. Then next, I'm putting 3 points of mindfulness, which is getting buffed to 6 with our class mod. So this is giving us 6% movement speed and minus 15% shield regeneration delay per stack of mindfulness we have, and we get 25 stacks of mindfulness. So this is going to give us a ton of movement speed, which if you remember from the class mod is going to synergize to give us a ton of damage. The faster we move, the more damage we do. So every time we use our action skill, our class mod is applying the status effect to ourselves, which is giving us stacks of mindfulness, and the mindfulness is giving us an insane amount of movement speed, and the same amount of movement speed is giving us the same amount of damage with the class mod. It just synergizes extremely well, and you can do a ton of damage with it. Now the way to get 25 stacks of mindfulness while using the shock element, since you're on the transformer, you have to use 2 different types of ASE end elements. So since I have cryo corrosive on my shield, I'm applying shock to me, but the game thinks I'm also applying cryo corrosive, and it's giving me 25 stacks of mindfulness, and you always want to be at 25 stacks. Going to the next skill tree, we're going to mystical assault. We have 3 points in fast hands to get more reload speed, more weapon swap speed. Most of the speed doesn't matter right here, but the reload speed is super nice for the Tediore, and the weapon swap speed is also super nice for swapping between shock and corrosive. Now I have 1 point do harm, 1 point balance habitude right here, just to get stacks of rush. That's the only reason we're using them. I don't really care about the effects they do. I have 5 points in alacrity right here, so each rush stack we have, we get 2% more reload speed, and then we get 2.9% after we pop our action skill. We're going to constantly be getting rush stacks because applying the status effect to ourselves actually gives us a stack of rush, plus it's also giving us stacks of mindfulness, and obviously just doing damage and killing things is also going to give us rush stacks. So we're going to have even more reload speed right here. Now I have 1 point in ascendant right here just to get down to the bottom. This was just the leftover skill points, and I was trying to get down to wrath, which I have 2 points in to give me 13.3% more gun damage. This is really good. It's just giving us a little more gun damage, and as I said, these are leftover points that I just had to put in anywhere in the skill tree, and I feel like this was probably the best. I have ascendant just in case if I want to use something like soul sap and phase cast, I can do that. Plus I have wrath to give me 13.3% more damage at all times. We're not going to take advantage of the other one because we're just phase grasping the ground, but as I said, if we do use something, we actually will take advantage of that. Now going into the final skill tree, we have 5 points of anima to give us more status effect damage and duration. This is going to make our shock dot on ourselves last a lot longer, plus it's going to do more damage, which means more healing to our transformer shield. Now I have 3 points of steady hands right here to get 32% more handling, 31% more accuracy. Accuracy doesn't matter, but the handling is nice to have on shotguns. Then I have 5 points of timbers to give me 30% more elemental damage and then 20% more shock damage. This is really good because our Tediore weapon is going to be doing an insane amount of elemental damage, and this is just buffing our guns even more. Then I have 2 points of waffle right here, just get down to the bottom. This is not really needed at all. Then I have 1 point deep well, which is letting our elemental weapons get 20% more magazine size. So this is also giving us more damage with our Tediore shotguns. It's a lot of damage in this build, as you can tell. Now, going over the whole build again, simply the way it's going to work, you're going to phase grasp the ground to not lock anybody. That in return, with your class mod, is going to apply the shock dot to yourself because we're using shock action skill element. It's going to start giving you stacks of mindfulness and stacks of rush as well. Then after that, the mindfulness action is going to give you a ton of movement speed, plus it's going to be proccing your help enhance perk to give you 48% damage reduction. Now with the shock dot, it's going to be healing your transformer shield because it's applying shock to the transformer, so that obviously is going to heal you, and you're getting 48% damage reduction. So that alone right there is going to let you have an insane amount of survivability. Now if we start talking about mindfulness, you're getting an insane amount of movement speed. Now movement speed is a thing that I feel like is looked over when it comes to survivability because you could just run past everything shooting you, especially in things like the Wotan fight. When he's shooting rockets, you can just move around the map and they just cannot hit you. So the movement speed is very good for survivability. But now if you take the movement speed and pair it with the class mod, it's also giving you an insane amount of damage. So you can just run around the map and just chunk Tediore shotguns everywhere and everything just dies. That is the gist of the build. It's that simple, it's that easy to play, and it can get you through true takedown mode with ease. Now obviously throughout that skill tree, we had a bunch of other little perks in there to give us more damage. Things like arms deal, personal space, deep well, tempest, and wrath. All these things are just giving us basically more damage just to be able to kill things even quicker. So this build is overall one of the best builds in the game, and you can actually play it on any character. It's not specifically for Amara, but it's very good on Amara because of all the things I just listed. You pretty much can never die if you play it correctly, and you have loads of damage. The best place to farm these Tediore shotguns is in Crazy Earl's vending machine if you have a lot of iridium, or maybe even in the slaughter shaft and just hope you get a drop from it. But the best place is by far the vending machine. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. I really hope you all enjoy. As I said before, I am nearing 1,000 subscribers. I am currently at 924. It'd be really, really awesome to hit it before the end of the month. I seriously cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. But with that being said, YouTube tells me that a lot of people that watch my videos actually are not subscribed to me. So if you would like to help out and change that stat, I would really appreciate it. It really helps the channel out, and I will love you forever. As I said before, this build is located in my Discord channel. If you want to download it, the link will be in the description. And yeah, that's going to do it all for me. Thank you guys so much for all the recent support. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.